Hey, shut up. No, you shut up. No, you shut up. You shut up. You're the one talking. Well, there's no one else here. Look, everybody, just shut up! What's that? The wind.
If you think about it, on paper, we're the most educated generation that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Access to information is instant and free. Technology is dirt cheap. Markets are global. Talent is a few clicks away, and yet 96% still fail. There's something missing. And a big piece of what's missing is the way we understand what's really going on here. And at a human level, we're designed to cooperate.
Yes.
It's a relational dynamic that's in play. And that's when it gets interesting, because that's when it invites you to become your very best self. Because you're meant to be your very best self in order to be a part of what's going on today. You weren't born 100 years ago. You're here now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to bring your attention to another book I read recently.
You're giving me a heck of a new reading list here.
I know. But this one, so A World Without Email. Now, the most shocking thing, and I won't quote the right statistics, so buy the book, but they took, I think it's 4,000, it might have been 8,000 management consultants, and they monitored their computer use over 10 working days, 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, they only had 8 periods of 25 minutes of uninterrupted work. Now, we've talked about my shitty phone, or I certainly have on my posts before. I have this so that when I'm in Nero's reading, I cannot be harassed by social media or emails. If someone wants me, they can phone me. If they text me, I'm not going to respond. So that is because I understand focus. I do things in extremely structured and, as you said earlier, intentional and purposeful ways. Sydney, at a complete tangent to this, oh yeah, I'm all over the place. As a tangent to this, what is it that's holding back? So we've talked not on recording about customers and customer types. Of the people you want to attract, what do you think is holding them back at the moment?
I think the lack of, in my kind of industry with the marketing side, I often get customers saying, you know, what's the return on investment and how many more customers are we going to get by implementing this strategy and things like that. And they want those promised answers, which I can't give. It's impossible for me to give that. But it's like what we were saying earlier, they're almost scared to do something out of fear of will it work or will it not. But I'm not going to know that. You're not going to know that. A top marketing executive at a massive firm isn't going to know that. You're just not going to know how many people are going. You can estimate, but you can't specifically say. And I think that makes a lot of people who maybe don't understand the marketing industry nervous, because they think, oh, well, you know, if you can't promise it, you know, you're not very good and you're not confident in your own skills. But I've had a lot of clients who've come to me as opposed to going to other people because people have promised them things and not delivered. And I say, well, I'm not going to promise you anything because I can't. Essentially, I can't. I'll do X, Y, and Z, and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll change it, and then we'll do X, Y, and Z, and then we'll work out what's best for you. But I can't physically promise you 100 clips or 100 this or whatever. So I'm not even gonna pretend to promise, because it would be pointless, essentially. So I think that's where the fear comes in, because there's no specific result that they're going to get. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So then, Chris or Guy, so with the work that you guys do, I would suggest it's even more intangible. How do you, so Guy, what's holding, you talked about a customer you and Chris are dealing with, but in terms of, and this is context also, you told me about the terrible economy in South Africa for the last 10 years. So if fear is holding back people in this country, which relatively speaking is doing well financially,
good question. To me, and if I look back over the past 25 years of doing this, and Chris focused briefly on it, and it was the right point, and Sydney meant, is relationships. When I work with clients, it's not just for 3 months, 6 months. It's for 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, 16 years, seeing them regularly.
Okay.
So the foundation is relationships. But I get them to understand the reality check, that it just can't go from, everyone talks X5 to X10 to X100. Now, that's a small percentage. In the real world, how many businesses actually do that? There's not that many.
No.
And one look at the statistics. So it's about the owner understanding their fears, where their strengths are, and their teams, and getting reality checks as they grow, as the business grows, because there's market dynamics that take place, and it's not an exact science. So at the end of the day, it's about having checks and balances and cutting out the emotion in terms of the decision-making process. So at least the decision-making process is better, it's quicker. Being a small, medium-sized business, you can move quicker, etc. Take advantage of the egos and the arrogance of the fat cats, the big businesses. So it's a moving target that you've got to get the client to understand. Yes, I've had some clients where their turnover's gone up X percentage in 3 or 4 or 6 months. I've also had some failures. So it's a juggle continuously, and it's an unreal expectation on anyone to say, and as Sydney said, I'm going to deliver 100 qualified leads to you, and you're going to do business with 99. It's not going to happen. And I deal in the B2B market, so not in the B2C market.
So my question would be, to follow up on that, you said that I've had a few failures. So do you personalize when a company you've dealt with doesn't succeed?
If it was on the odd occasion because of me, yeah, and if it was on the occasion because the client didn't want to adjust and didn't want to move at a certain pace based on certain facts and figures, then I don't take it personally.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
So it's been tough though, because no one likes to fail, but you're going to fail, and that's reality. And I'm not going to tell anyone come to me and it's 100% success. So it's just painful, but you got to move on.
So let me ask Chris, this is a situation where we now live in a world whereby, so Sydney's social marketing is messaging, it's branding, it's communicating, whereas a Google Ads person can tell you if the person's clicked on. There are sales funnels in website designs which are meant to lead people through. So have they been conditioned unrealistically as to what they can expect?
Well, I think there's a lot of things going on there, right? And if I can just map a few of them out for you, that might be helpful. So I think would be true to say that we live in a consumerist world, right? Certainly in the West. So we expect to pay Sydney to give me something. I pay the price, I want the thing, right? That's a consumerist mindset. And ideally, I want to pay for the one thing that's going to work. But when clients come to me and say, can you help me build my business? I say, well, it depends. Because if they're coming to me to say, can you help me make my thing work? It depends. What is your thing? You can't if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, right?
Yeah.
So you can be great technically at LinkedIn marketing, but if their product is rubbish and their brand reputation is rubbish, you cannot make them look amazing.
No.